Chapter 1. Cutter. Have you ever been in a hurricane? Tucker looks over at me. We're in a hotel about 10 miles inland, close enough to help, but far enough away to be safe from the storm surge. The Weather Channel has been on non-stop, and I'm starting to recognize the names on screen. One thing I am sure of, if Jim Cantor is where you are, shit's about to get real. Jim Cantor is 10 miles away from where we are. To say I'm nervous would be an understatement, but those of us in roles like myself and Tucker are in aren't supposed to show it. Instead, we're expected to sit in this small hotel room with our 2 queen beds and pretend it doesn't feel like the world's about to end. Already I'm beginning to think about what it's going to be like once the storm passes. How many people are we going to help? What will the situation be like as far as what access we'll have to materials? I was in Katrina. He rubs at Major's head slowly. He drops this bomb like it's nothing. No shit. The admission surprises me. I've never heard this before. Yep, I was in New Orleans at the time. 15 years old and the most disobedient fuck you've ever seen in your life. I had older friends and they all wanted to hit up a party place before school started that year. Back then, school didn't start until after Labor Day, so we were like, we'll go for the weekend, come back, and our parents won't know. Did you not realize a hurricane was coming? He chuckles. I'm sure we knew one was coming, because it was all over the news. But I don't think we realized the possible impact of a storm that size. We found out real quick. Were you in New Orleans when it hit? Yeah, smack dab in the middle. We didn't have enough money for a hotel, so we were sleeping in my buddy's Tahoe. When we realized what was happening, we went to the lobby of a hotel. There were police there, and we explained the situation to them. Luckily for us, the hotel allowed us to stay in the lobby. If it hadn't been for them, we would have died. As it was, we had to take higher ground and get rescued by the Coast Guard. I got my ass beat when I got home. I mean beat. But I didn't even care because I was so happy to be alive. Just didn't matter. Nothing is ever easy with you, is it? He grins. Never. Well, now I feel a little better, knowing you've been through hell and survived. I tease. It was worse than what I imagined hell would be like. We were stuck there for days without water. It was awful, and I don't wish it on my worst enemy. The sound is something I'll never forget. Then, the rising water. It literally would not stop. We're lucky, luckier than we had a right to be. He takes a drink of the water beside him. I was grounded for a year when I got home, but I learned a great respect for Mother Nature and God himself. I don't think I ever prayed that much in my life before. I didn't think I was going to make it. If there's anything that'll get you closer to God, it's a natural disaster. Do you think this will be as bad? I'm watching the weatherman on TV, and he's warning anyone who will listen about storm surge, winds, rain, tornadoes, and the possibility of flooding well inland. There's also the threat of power outages and no clean water. It's all very ominous, and I realize quickly how lucky I am to have a home that will still be there when I head back up north. I don't have to worry about electricity and water, nor do I have to worry about any of my family being lost in the immediate aftermath of the storm. I don't know. Tucker rubs a hand over his face. This one is plenty big, and the water temp is high. Looks like it's going to be bad. He shrugs. But I'm not God or a psychic, and I can't tell the future. We'll do what we can to brace for impact, and then we'll work on getting these people the help they need. That's all we can do. I wish I was as confident as Tucker. It's almost as if nothing shakes or spooks him. I know it does, but it doesn't show it. The noise of the TV in the background reminds me of why we're here in the first place. Hurricane Tatum is churning in the Gulf, taking aim at the coast. Those of you in Gulf Shores and Orange Beach are under mandatory evacuation. We are looking at landfall somewhere over the next 12 hours. Outer rain bands are already making their presence known. Mobile, watch out for storm surge in the bay. Flooding will be a major impact of this storm. Right now, Tatum is at Cat 4, and the waters are warm. We're predicting she'll intensify into a Cat 5 before she makes landfall. The time for preparation is over. You've either evacuated or you'll need to shelter in place. Please be aware that rescue may not be possible. Why wouldn't you evacuate? I whisper as I watch the huge storm on TV. Some people can't afford it. He nods to Major. Some people have dogs that are more family than pet, and they aren't allowed to take them into shelters. After Katrina, that was supposed to have been stopped, but I've heard of people being turned away with a pet, so they stay. Others are scared to leave their homes because they're afraid they'll never see them again. There are numerous reasons. I look over at Tucker, my eyes wide open. I guess you're right. Never thought about it that way. It's cool. You haven't had a ton of life experience yet. Once you've dealt with a few disasters, you'll be able to figure out when you need to panic and when you don't. More often than not, I try to temper my reactions. The quicker I react, the worse I seem to take it. It's important to give it the attention it needs, but not let it overtake your entire life. You'll learn. The sigh that comes from my throat is more frustrated than bored. Everybody says that. I flop back on the bed. When am I going to stop being the guy who lost his scholarship and came back home with his tail tucked between his legs? When you stop letting that shit define you, Cutter. You're so much more than that. But until you start seeing yourself differently, no one else is going to. I think about what he says. It was the biggest failure of my life. My voice is soft as I admit what many perceive as my shame. To know I had everything right here. I hold out my hand, my palm facing upward, and I fucked it up. That's one of the best things you can do. Admit you made a mistake. You can come back from it, Cutter. At some point, if you keep showing up, people will realize you're showing up. I just always feel like I'm compared to Ransom. I run my hand through my hair. Wife, kid, dog. I fucking can't even compete with that. Can't even keep a damn plant alive, much less a pet or another human being. You really think that? Tucker looks over at me, his eyebrows scrunched together. The disbelief in his voice surprises me. You think people compare you to Ransom? Oh, I know they do. I can distinctly remember when Stell and Ransom got married. Mom pulled me aside and said something along the lines of, "You can only hope to find a woman like this," which brought back all the memories of what happened. No, they don't, Tucker argues. If anything, people admire you. That's bullshit. You and I both know it. It's not bullshit. You've overcome a lot, my man. Most people would have put their head in the sand and never lifted it out after what happened to you. It took a lot of heart and determination to become the man you are now. You didn't let it make you bitter, but you have to make sure to forgive yourself for it, Cutter. You didn't know. Now I'm interested in how he knows. What do you mean, I didn't know? Has someone talked to you about what happened to me? Tucker's face drains of color, and I know someone has. Ransom and I spent a lot of time together. Don't defend him. I sit up, swinging my feet over the side of the bed. This wasn't his story to tell. Sometimes the ones you think aren't affected are. Maybe he had issues with what happened to you, Cutter. Maybe he felt like it was partially his fault. Did you ever think he feels partially responsible? How? Why? This makes no sense to me. What happened to me happened to me, no one else. Those are questions you should ask your brother, but I promise you, you aren't in this alone. You never were. I'm not sure I want to know the answer to those questions. My mind is swirling as I lie back against the pillows. I want nothing more than to sleep, but as I hear the wind picking up outside, I know sleep won't come. This may very well be the longest night of my life. The storm coming ashore doesn't compare to the one I have raging inside my head and my heart.
You can listen to the rest of the book in the Tempt Romance Audiobooks app, available on the App Store and Google Play. The link to the book is in the description. Discover even more bestsellers and exclusive stories updated weekly, only in Tempt Romance Audiobooks.